Hello, I'm Deborah Sword.
Hi, I'm Tyson Bankert.
Tyson, we talk a lot about conflict competency. How do you build conflict competency, but also
Mm.
how do you deplete it? What takes away our ability to be conflict competent?
Ugh, so many things. I think one of the things for me personally is my environment being really critical to how I'm able to have a good exchange with someone. Am I tired? Am I fed? Am I in a good mood? And then there's all the things that I feel need, and then also the other person needs. And I think based on that is really the condition in which I think sometimes that both people can come to the table and be feeling like they can competently handle that conflict.
So there's this whole basket of environmental
Absolutely.
factors, and I put that in the category of context.
Mm,
And so I'm going to expand that basket to include what's the nature of your relationship with the person? Are they someone, I've heard the expression emotional vampire. Are they someone who drains you with
mm-hmm.
negativity and complaints? Are they someone who has taken a lot of managing for you, and they're tiring. They've
Exhaust,
exhausted
yeah,
you,
totally.
so you become tired, exhausted with the person or with that particular topic.
Mhm. And the emotions that come with that conflict, right? The understanding that part of our conflict is so much of the emotion that we have to now take on just to have a conversation sometimes, you know? I think about, when someone to me I said, "How are you?" Oh, I don't want to talk. Okay, I don't know right now how I now need to respond because there's a lot going on. I know I just asked you how you're doing. Do I really care is a different question. But
Of course you
oftentimes
care.
that there's so much emotion to have to then now take on sometimes. And that's okay. But hey, maybe you need some food. Hey, maybe you need like can I even help you with this topic or this feeling that you're having, right? And so I think that that's a really interesting. There's a lot sometimes. So
And I don't come from the perspective of, can I help you?
yeah.
Or what do you need of
Hmm.
me?
Hmm.
It's, is that my place? Are
Mm-hmm.
they telling me this because they want something from
Hmm.
me, or are they just
Yeah,
unloading?
totally.
And I asked that question. So the other is another depleting factor is when I carry the experience of a different relationship into the relationship I'm in.
Mm,
So I might be triggered by something that happened in my childhood, and I'm talking to you, and you say something, and yeah,
hmm.
uh, but you're not the person who
Totally. Yeah.
you happen to have triggered
Hmm.
me,
Hmm.
but you're depleting my conflict competency. I'm now going to jump on you
Hmm.
for something that was perfectly innocent. You didn't know my history with
Right.
it.
Right. So then I'm wondering also, then there's that assumptions piece that you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Where we assume that that person has maybe done something more than the conflict is warranted, or there's pieces that we're maybe missing. And I find that to be once we are aware of once we're able to have the whole context, our proper context, we can also manage that conflict better. So being really curious and asking questions and being open to um, really identifying what it is that the conversation needs.
Yeah, what's really going on? I had an example of that the other day. I was setting up a meeting with someone who was not responding. I felt like I was being ghosted.
Mm,
And so I made a point of meeting in person and saying, why are you not answering my
mhm,
messages, my emails? You missed a Zoom meeting. And the person said, I didn't get any of your messages.
mhm, mhm.
And it turned out that's true.
Yeah.
There was a problem that our two computers weren't talking to each other. The other thing that depletes my conflict competency
What is that,
is
Deborah? What is that? Can I
being
tell you? Oh,
interrupted.
oh, okay. All right.
Being interrupted. It's you interrupt me 17 times. I'm good
I
for
definitely
the
don't
first.
do
You
that.
do not, but I'm
Yeah.
good for the first 16. The
Hmm.
17th, I'm gonna lose it
Mm,
and yell at you. Will you let me finish a
mm,
sentence?
mhm,
My conflict competency is just
mhm.
zero at that
Hmm.
point.
Hmm. And it's great that I think that, but the competent piece here is that you also are aware of what triggers that, right? What's going to set you off to be able to communicate to that person, like, hey, can you please stop interrupting me because I have something to say here, and this isn't helping.
What you have to say is not more important, but
Hmm.
I'm also, because I have conflict competency, I'm quite good at stopping talking.
Right.
If you have something to say that you need to get out right now, I'm fine with not talking.
Hmm.
I don't think what I have to say is more important than what
Hmm.
you have to say. But we're also assuming, you were mentioning assumptions. If you're interrupting a lot, you're assuming that what you have to say is more important.
Hmm.
And that can be quite demoralizing, which affects your ability to be
Hmm.
conflict
Hmm.
competent.
Hmm.
And there are some things that enhance our conflict competency. And one of them is practicing that
Hmm.
self-management
Hmm.
piece
Hmm.
so you don't explode.
Right, right. And I mean, similar to this, it is seeking help, seeking resources, being able to check in with yourself, that reflection piece about like, yeah, how am I showing up in these conversations? What about some of these like what does deplete my conflict competency? Finding gathering these resources. Also maybe even asking people for help too. Like, what are you noticing in me as well?
And when I interrupt, I'm so appreciative when people
Me
tell
too.
me because I don't want to be the person who interrupts.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, you've talked about naming things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes just naming the problem. Normally, I'm really conflict competent, but right now I'm at the end of my line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just name it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that deplete our ability to stay conflict competent and things that enhance it. And our conflict competency is to have more of the enhancements than the depletions.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see everyone next week. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.